Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me here again. Now, I know that I said that I don't really watch the Six Nations matches, but I did manage to catch two games last weekend. The one between England and Scotland, and of course the Irish and Italian game. And it's not going to be a very long video this weekend, but I just wanted to touch on a few things, especially in the Scotland-England game. Hugh Jones, absolutely magnificent performance by him, getting 2 tries in for the game, bringing his career tries up to 25 tries, which I think is the most scored by a single Scotsman within his entire career. And then also, I just want to touch a bit on the discipline issues that England experienced, especially within the first half. Especially with Harry and Arundel, the 2 yellow cards that was obviously, then upgraded to red, which I don't quite agree with. And I will just pointedly, very quickly, give you my sort of take on it. His first yellow card was for a cynical offence, where the ref claims that he tackled the player, then didn't release and immediately go in for the contestation on the ball within the breakdown. Now, I don't quite agree with that. I do feel, Henry did tackle the ball carrier. He then released the ball carrier when he got up, basically then positioning himself on his side of the tackled player, and then went in for the contestation on the ball. So I don't quite feel that a yellow card was justified there, because if we saw the instance with Damien Willemse within the 2023 World Cup, where he quite duly charged down one of the All Black players from behind, grabbed him by his shirt, dragged him down, made a successful tackle, then positioned himself on his side of the tackled player, made a huge gesture, hands up in the air to see I've released, and then went in for the contestation. Now, Henry Arundel didn't do that. He didn't throw his hands up into the air to make it very clear for the ref that he has indeed let go of the player before he went down into the breakdown. So does that really constitute for a yellow card though? A cynical offence? I don't think so. You could see, in my opinion, clear separation between Henry and the tackled player before he went down into, because as he's positioning himself on his side of the tackled player, so he's onside when he goes into the breakdown, just to make sure of that, there was separation between him and the player. So he did let him go. He wasn't holding on to the tackled player and whatever. So not quite agreeing with the ref over there on that yellow card, which would basically then null and void the red card, because the sole reason the red card was issued was basically because he has now already earned himself 2 yellow cards. So take away the first yellow card, there would just be no yellow card for the second one. Now the second one happened when he made contact with Carl Steyn in the air. Both of them very transfixed on the high ball, keeping very close eye on it. Now sure, Henry Arundel must have, it's his responsibility to know where the opposing player is, but so is it Carl Steyn's responsibility to know where Henry was. Carl Steyn basically coming in, also transfixed on the high ball, make a leap upwards to try and catch it. And just as he's going up, he makes contact with Henry Arundel. Unfortunately, Carl Steyn then seen as officially in the air. I do have to note though that there was no wrapping of the arms, so he didn't play the play in the air at all. It was just pure contact. He actually took a knee to the chin from Carl Steyn. Yeah, I suppose it is dangerous play. Very high impact contact. The danger threshold, I think, has been reached for a yellow card, so I do feel that the referee was justified in issuing that one. But since I don't think that the first one should have been a yellow card, I also don't feel that the red card was justified in that situation. But yeah, discipline issues for the English team has suffered at the very beginning of the game, which didn't really do well for them. They did kind of sort it out within the second half, or towards the end of the first half, and that kind of brings up the second issue for me. England not really making the right decisions during the course of the game. So Scotland is on a yellow card warning, especially for Zander Ferguson, for collapsing the scrum, taking a knee within the scrum, which makes England's sort of go-to set play within this game, performing very well within the scrums. Eventually, Scotland getting an overall warning within the second half as well for collapsing the scrums. So, but at that stage, purely the player was being warned, Zander Ferguson, for now already 3 times taking a knee within the scrum. Then Itoje tells George Ford, take the kick, go for the 3 points. I don't believe that was the right call. You're 5 meters away from the goal line. At the very beginning of the game, the English has already shown us that they have a very powerful driving maul. So I would have actually gone for the scrum again. Get the scrum collapsed again. Have the yellow card issued. Now the Scots are 1 man down. You got to think strategically when you play against tough teams like this. So yeah, if he'd gone down again, that's a yellow card. Scotland now 1 man down, 15 versus 14. You get the penalty anyway at that stage. So you kick for the corner, 5 meter line out, rolling maul against a 14-man team over the try line. You get 7 points instead of 3. So bad decision making, I would have to say, on Itoje's side on that, in my opinion. But also, the penalties conceded. Eventually, Scotland did overtake England in penalties conceded for the full, duration of the game. Scotland leading with 10 penalties conceded to England's 8. But that's basically a difference of 2 penalties conceded. Most of them for the English side conceded in the first half. Didn't help, that gave Scotland the much needed boost in their points deficit against England. And then of course the 2 yellow cards by Arundel, seeing him going off for 10 minutes first, and then for 20 minutes, a 20-minute red card in going into the second half as well. Did not do England any kind of favors. But yeah, Jamie Derby doing exceptionally well for himself, but suffered a very painful shoulder injury within the game, being led off by MTs, carrying his own arm, quite useless so hoping, wishing him a speedy recovery, but he's probably going to be out for the rest of the Six Nations this time around, which is very unlucky for him. Lucky try by Ben White, of a serious faux pas by Ellis Grange. Ball is kicked as a grubber by Scotland forward. Ellis tries to recover the ball, unfortunately knocks it backwards through his hands, and like I said, Ben White capitalizing on that very quickly, falling onto the ball and the goal box. Very well done for them. Overall, massive performance by Scotland. Really well done there. Italy versus Ireland in this round 2 of the Six Nations. After a very successful victory over Scotland the previous week, 18-15 victory for the Italians, they managed to actually finish up with a losing bonus point against the Irish. Massive opportunity here. Irish always going in, I think it's 2013, a victory over the Italians. Not a great performance by Italy. They did better the previous week against Scotland, but a thoroughly entertaining game. Discipline unfortunately lacking on both sides, with a yellow card quite early in the first half. One for Italy, then that followed up by one for Ireland. But the Irish team was on the ball the whole time with their dominance. Took dominance from the very start of the game and managed to maintain it right through, keeping the pressure up on the Italian team, just constantly badgering them with attacking moves, front row players taking the ball into contact constantly, phase after phase after phase, which really did them well. Unfortunately, Italy, they tried to make a strong comeback, did manage to get 2 tries in. First try I don't think was converted, unfortunately. That gave them the 13 points against 20 against Ireland there, but very strong comeback by them, very strong gameplay, and made just for an absolute thorough, enjoyable game of rugby. Really, probably one of the best ones I've seen within the Six Nations so far. So really well done to the Italians there. I would love to see you guys doing more of that. You are going up against France this coming weekend, where Ireland is now facing off against England, and Scotland against Wales. So that's going to be quite an interesting match. Wales still not doing too well for themselves in this season now as well. The English versus Ireland. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Ireland. They've been on top form, especially James Lowe, Jack Crowley, all the usual blokes within the Irish team performing really well. Barracoon as well. It just did some amazing attack moves for the Irish team in this last game against Italy. So definitely, I think my money is going to be on Ireland this weekend. Between Scotland and Wales, definitely Scotland. I'm sorry, Wales. But until you guys can sort out your union issues, I think there is going to be some serious lack of rugby performance within your ranks. Unfortunately, the morale is low. I do understand it. I get it. The confidence is low. The morale is low. So yeah, I feel sorry for you guys, and I really hope that you guys can seriously make some huge changes. But I think it really is going to start with some changes at the top level within the Welsh Rugby Union. Okay, and now, yes, also Italy versus France. Tough team. Italy, you guys are taking on a tough team here in France, but I'm holding thumbs. My prediction is going to be France. I'm sorry, but I'm holding thumbs that I'm wrong this time around. So, but yeah, thank you very much for joining me for this one, guys. This is it from me. Hit me a like and subscribe at the the buttons below the video. It's a very short video this time around for me, but yeah. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Peace out.
Ford, the attempt at the drop, and it's been charged down. And there goes, oh, look at this, it's Hugh Jones. And he's scuttling away. And the attempt at the drop from George Ford